Hello and welcome to episode 190 on the Online Trainers Podcast. Today's topic is Stories Sell.
Hello and welcome to the Online Trainers Podcast, where we go behind the scenes to uncover the latest tactics and strategies top trainers around the world are using to get more clients, dominate their marketplace, and get their clients amazing results. There is absolutely no fluff here. I'm your host, Lynn Trin.
Now, I hope you've been enjoying listening to my voice over 190 episodes. This is absolutely crazy. I can't even believe I've been talking to myself for 190 episodes, approximately 5 to 10 minutes each. If you do the math, that is a lot of time. But really, I hope you've been enjoying the success series of the podcast. I've had a tremendous amount of you guys reach out to me on Facebook, grab the 3-step guide, which has been amazing. If you want to know more, then reach out to me directly on Facebook and send me a message and say you want the 3-step success guide to launching and growing a profitable online fitness, online coaching business, whatever the space that you're in. I know we have a lot of different coaches, health and fitness nutritionists listening to this podcast show as well. In fact, we've just tipped over 2,000 listeners per day, which is absolutely crazy. But with that being said, I wanted to tell you on this cold July morning, really how you can start tying all of this together. Now, over the last 4 episodes, I've talked about your ability to innovate as the coach, your ability to get results. We've talked about the business model that you should have set up, that you're always going to be trading time for money. However, can you elongate that curve to bring it inside of your favor to not only get people results, but actually maximize the amount of money you make per time that you've utilized? Because there's no point going out there. The amount of people that you can impact on a one-to-one level is going to be far less than you can impact on a one-to-many level. And that's kind of the model and the shift that you want to do. And if you are going to do one-to-one, then you charge a premium for it. You can make it exclusive, you make it premium. And the reasons why this is, guys, is not about the money at all. If you think this is about the money, and I will do a podcast episode around money and, how I was self-sabotaging a lot of myself throughout the journey because I thought money was evil. I thought money was bad. And as soon as I got okay with money and what it meant to me, then that's when the switch flicked. Okay, that's when it really flicked. And I think for a lot of people right now, because we're conditioned in society that money's bad, rich people are bad, you know all the sayings, right? You know that if somebody's rich, they might have been dodgy, they might have done something. And what money represents to me, and it should represent to you right now, is your resource and your ability to go out there and impact more people. I mean, if you can generate more money, then you've got more money to market. You've got more money to give back to your clients. You've got more resources. I mean, if you generate a lot of money, basically you can go in there to create and hire people to make sure that your clients get the most amazing experience. Maybe you want to run a retreat for your clients. Maybe you just want to buy them gifts. Maybe you just want to send them something amazing and nice. That's what you can do with money. If you don't have money, guess what? You can't be resourceful. You don't get a lot of resources. Money is resources. And so I say that because I don't want to come across as the guy that's saying, hey, charge premium and make more money. That is great. You will make so much money that you will be free, and ultimately money won't mean as much to you as it used to mean. Okay? And what it does mean is it means your ability to serve and impact and reach more people. If you have money, you can chuck it on Facebook ads, you can chuck it on Google, you can be everywhere and you can get your message out there. That's the most amazing thing about money. Okay, but inside this podcast, as you can tell, I've reconditioned my brain to accept money as a resource as opposed to think of it as evil. Okay, inside of this podcast, what we're going to be talking about is we're going to talk about your ability to sell through stories. Now, stories is one of the biggest things that I want you to have a look at. Jesus Christ moved a movement. He created Christianity. If you're religious, then you will accept this, all right? What I'm saying is completely true. You have a look at some of the best thought leaders around the world. When you listen and you go to the seminars and when you listen to their podcast shows, what you're noticing is you're noticing their ability to tell stories. They can keep you engaged for 10, 20, 30 minutes. And inside of that story, what happens is this. Your brain opens up, you remove yourself from thinking logically, you start to think emotionally, and you start to become what I like to call vulnerable to inception. Now, inception is the idea, the planting of the seeds to create these little epiphany bridges, as my mentor Russell Brunson loves to say. Okay, you create these little epiphany bridges inside. Like you give your prospect an epiphany, an idea, and you let it sit and you let it grow inside of their mind so then they can come up with the epiphany themselves by understanding and listening to your story. Now, with that being said, this is a skill. Now, whether you're a coach and you're trying to help clients overcome fear, you're overcoming anxiety, you're trying to get people to take massive action, you're trying to get clients to come over to your modality, your way of doing things. Maybe you don't do any cardio and you're totally against cardio. What you need to do is you need to create stories that incept the idea of why you don't do cardio, because there's reasons why you do things and why you don't do things. And you came up with the epiphany yourself. You one day said to yourself, Lynn, I'm not going to do any more cardio, and this is the reason. Okay? Now to you, it might seem blatantly obvious, but to your prospect, can you elongate? Can you pull that out so that you can create this epiphany moment so your prospect might go, holy crap, maybe I won't do cardio anymore because you're completely spot on. I get it. I got that epiphany as well. And if you can create those epiphany moments inside of your prospect, inside of the person you were trying to influence to jump over the fence to come onto your side, then guess what? The game will forever change, right? You have the ability to persuade and influence. If you can tell a great story, it means that you are understandable, you are relatable. If you can tell a good story, guess what happens, right? Not only can you create and seed ideas and grow epiphanies and grow trees inside of your prospect's mind, but now you become the authority expert because guess what? You know their story better than they do themselves. Okay, and what I mean by this is if I can tell you your story, if I can tell you that you're in pain, if I can tell you that your business sucks right now because you don't have the model, you got no idea how to run this whole online gig. In fact, most people don't. Okay, and I can tell you your struggle better than you can yourself, then I become the expert. There is no doubt about that. And I want to tell you this because this is extremely powerful. It's a very, very powerful tool that you utilize across your marketing. Across all of your marketing, across your podcasts, across your emails, across your Facebook posts, across your Instagram, across everywhere that you literally market. If you are telling stories about their pain and you are telling their pain better than they can themselves, you will win. And I want to tell you this because over the last few days, I've talked about, okay, great, you need to innovate. You need to stay ahead of the trend. Okay, you can't copy people. You can model them, you can use it, and then you can grow upon it. The second thing is we've looked at your business model. Okay? The very first thing is I asked you, are you building your foundations? Are you building your foundations? Are you a person that people will want to follow? Are you a person that people will buy from? Would you buy from yourself? Ask yourself that question. You know you're doing it right. If a person inside of your marketplace comes in and wants to coach with you, right, but you don't coach them. Okay, it's a really, really funny story. I know I'm moving in the right direction, and they're like, holy shit, does Lynn only work with health and fitness and coaches? I wish he could coach me, but I'm in like the e-commerce space. Oh, I'm a corporate dude, and I want him to coach me. And I'm like, okay, I don't do that. I could coach you, but I'm staying in my lane because I know exactly what my goal is. I know exactly what my purpose is. And most importantly, it becomes a compliment because you know you're doing your shit right. So with today's podcast ending, I want you to think about what are the stories that you are going to come up with, not so much make up, but tell your own stories. There's been so many times that throughout your life that I bet you have suppressed things, whether you're a man or a woman, right? You have gone through suppression, you have skipped by things to avoid pain, and inside of becoming a leader, it is your ability to face that fear, draw out and learn lessons from those pain points, and learn lessons from your biggest pains in order to help prospects who are going through that same pain. This is what I discovered along my journey, is that we all have these pains, right? Grammatical errors there on a podcast, but we all have pain, right? And what we can do is we can learn from those pain and from the pain to help our prospects move away from their pain and into pleasure. Because at this moment in time, what you need to understand is you and I, we're crazy mofos, right? We're the 1% that are going out there that want more. There are so many. Do not underestimate how many other people out there need your help right now, but you need to step up and make shit happen. Okay? With that being said, go tell a bunch of stories.
Alright, if you enjoyed this podcast, please leave me a 5-star review on iTunes and feel free to leave a review, and that way I can respond and I can take that on board in developing content to serve you. Now, if you're not a part of the Online Trainers Club on Facebook, please do yourself a favor and be a part of the conversation. That's where I add daily tips, tricks, and strategies on how you can build out funnels, how you can get more clients, and ultimately become a better online coach. Thank you for listening.